Hello and welcome to Workers and Resources Soviet Republic. So you might be wondering, where's the mod city at? Well, I did a little bit of playing around with it between now and when I recorded that first episode, and there's some huge issues with that super apartment, at least in how I set it up. Yeah, who would have known? 10,000 people in one little spot would be absolutely nearly impossible to move around and provide all their needs. Anyway, some of the major issues that I had with setting it up were the supply of food and all that. With that small shopping center, I had to throw in a few more, and it was still just too many. And I didn't even have 10,000 people. I only had I got up to about 4,000 or 5,000 in that one building, and I was already out of room. I would have no longer been able to allow everybody to just walk to meet all of their needs. I would have had to set up another city, essentially, of just support buildings for that one structure. So rather than doing that, I decided to start over. And I'm going to do things a little bit differently to begin with. You may notice over here, I've got some significant gravel production set up. I say significant, it's only one little gravel processor, but it's not just a little gravel processor, it's a mod. It's actually double production. I'm also using some of the mod quarry sites up there. They have conveyor connections, just the ones connected by a conveyor. We'll see how it works. And then those other three, I'm gonna do it the old-fashioned way and just haul rocks down and dump them into the processor, have some storage over here. And what's this gravel gonna be used for? Well, this gravel is just gonna kind of be the extra gravel that can be thrown around wherever I may need it around the Republic as it grows. Now if we jump over here, I got some coal production going. I say going, it's not actually running. Nothing's running yet. It's just been built. And I've got a couple of modded coal mines. These are the automated coal mines, so they do not require any workers, but they do require mechanisms. So those are going to be pumping out coal ore, and I've got 3 processors set up. I'm not sure about the ratio. I've never tried those automated coal mines before as far as how much they'll actually be putting out. I'm guessing they're going to be a lot more efficient than the worker coal mines because you won't have a break or a gap in shifts. So I've also set this up in a manner to which it's easy enough to expand if need be. If I need to get more coal mining going, I can just add on to the line up this way. Let me turn this back on so I can get my cursor. Yeah, I can. If I need more coal mines, I can just continue expanding along this this mountain here, which this mountain is a pretty significant coal deposit, but these automated coal mines, I found out, they don't actually require there to be a coal resource there. These just get built on the rock, much like a gravel quarry, and that's where they derive their resource pool from. So not like the regular coal mines where you have to have that radius and everything. It's just right where it's at. That's where it derives its resources from, so we'll see how that works. But if need be, I can expand all along this little mountain here and add in more mines, or if I need more processors, I can, let's see, is that, that's coming out of the front. I meant to have that coming out of the side, but either way, I could probably fix that later. If not, I can just jut it out this way and run it along there. Add in more coal processors as needed. Again, this isn't part of a designated production chain either. Also, that coal, when it's pumped out, it's going to come down to this storage area, and yeah, this is coal just to be flung around wherever I may need it later. So, what's next? Well, the next thing I want to do, and you might get the theme as to what I'm doing here, I'm starting out with the most essential resources to the Republic. The most important one probably being coal. Coal is probably one of the most used resources, at least for production purposes. Maybe not necessarily compared to the amount of food that you'll use with a lot of people and all that, but as far as non-consumer resources, I should say, coal is probably the most important. Gravel is right behind it as well. So we've got some productions set up for those. Let's go ahead and take a look here at what I want to do next. Next, I want to set up, what is it here? Cement. Yeah, cement. And if we look at the consumption at maximum production, that's 210 tons of gravel. So really, to get the most out of the cement plant, we're not going to want to set it up somewhere and be trucking or even hauling. We don't want to haul gravel to it. We want the gravel fed directly into it. And rather than trying to squeeze it in over here, I figure we set up another gravel production over on this side of this mountain, set up the cement plant down here somewhere, and just have that gravel fed directly into the cement plant. And then if we look at what we need cement for, we're going to need that for concrete. And yes, this concrete plant, as well as the asphalt plant, have really high rates for consumption at maximum production. But guess what? These are never going to be producing at maximum production, because they only produce at an as-needed basis. Basically, when there's a construction vehicle showing up to collect either concrete or asphalt, it'll fill that truck up at least to however much it demands, and then it stops production. So for the concrete and asphalt plant, don't bother worrying about the maximum production demands, because you can truck resources to them all day and they will be more than happy to maintain the production. It's just keeping a supply of workers, which they only have a maximum number of 5. So it is kind of difficult to maintain a worker flow to these guys, but it is possible. Now, the other thing we're going to need, well, really the only thing we're really going to need cement flowing to constantly is going to be the prefab panels factory. And if you take a look at that, the consumption at maximum production for cement is only 9.8 tons. And it does require another 65 tons of gravel. Now, that is possible to keep that, to keep it fed constantly with gravel if you're using either a lot of trucks or a pretty good sized train, or if you have that connected directly to a cement plant, not a cement plant, but its own gravel supply as well. So let's take a look at the size of this. That's not too big. The cement plant is pretty sizable though. Kind of zoomed out kind of far here. Let me zoom in real quick and just take a look at that. And then prefab, it's about half the size. I'm going to take a look real quick and look through my mods. I think I have some modded buildings for those, and you know, I do love mods, and if I have the opportunity to use a modded building in place of something, I will, because I want to try out these mods. And I'm sure you want to see them try it out too. Before you go and stake your republic on them. Anyway, let me look through here and see if I can find them. Alright, so I've got a cement plant, version 2. Maximum production is 275 tons. Consumption on that is 700 tons of gravel and 75 tons of coal. That is quite a bit. Let's see how that compares. 275, 75, 700. You go back over here to the cement plant. Wow. Wow. And it really doesn't require that many more workers. Let's take a look at the size difference. Let's see, we got... Yep, okay. Let's take a look back at the modded one. It appears to be the same size, the only difference being 2 additional factory connections. Presumably for more cement silos to be easily attached and more storage to accommodate that extreme production rate. I don't know if we're gonna need that much. 275 tons. Oof. Yeah. I mean, just the base value cement plant already produces enough to supply, what is that, like 8 or 9 prefab panels factories? Okay, so maybe this would be more beneficial to not run at full production, but just to utilize the extra large on-site storage for it. Maybe that's where this would be beneficial. However, that just really seems like overkill. So I think I'm gonna I do want to try the mods out, but just seems like overkill. I don't know. You know what? We're gonna do it. We're gonna utilize the mod cement plant for this. So let's go ahead and get started. That's on page 4. We're gonna start by I'm gonna lay out the gravel production for it. What was the demand for that? 700 tons of gravel. Okay. How much does that gravel processor? We might need multiple gravel processors to supply it. Wish there was a better way to organize these mods. I kind of wish they would just fall into their categories instead of being in a separate mod section. Just fall in where they should be. Maybe just you know, I mean, they're identified by these green arrows as a mod, so man, where the hell is it? Of course, I suppose the better option would be not to download every single mod that I see. Yeah, this is that power plant I've talked about before that's just there's just absolutely no need for it because you can't utilize all that power. It'd just be a waste. Here, Gravel Mine version 2. Wait, Gravel Mine, not processor. Okay. Gravel processing. Maximum production per workday is 280 tons. 280 out of 400. Let's take a look at the vanilla one, actually. All right, let me go ahead and lay these out. It's going to take a little bit because of terrain modification and everything. So I'll come back when I've got the gravel laid in. All right, so I've got the plans laid out, and let me go ahead and turn the wireframe off. It's a little distracting. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at the mods that I used real quick for this. To make it possible, I used the 3-into-1 conveyor system. Now, these are pretty janky. And I'm gonna give you a little demonstration of just how janky they are. Okay? So we've got that there. And actually, we'll set up a couple there. And we'll set one up over here. Alright, so let's say this is our quarry, and we want the output to go into the side over here. Well, as you can see, as we mouse over this, it's got a couple of preferred ones, and this one in the side, which is the one I used mostly on that, it doesn't want to go to it. So if we go to this, it's going to try and auto snap to every single one except that one. So the way I had to go about fixing that is just placing some placeholders in temporarily, pretty much, to take up those ones. And then it allows me to. So I'll connect that, and then what I'll do is I'll destroy these placeholders, and then it leaves me with what I want. Of course, I don't want either of these. But yeah, just a little janky, but for what they do, they're definitely worth it. So now I gotta go through and actually destroy the ones I don't want, which is that, and that, and that one. I think that's it. That would appear so. Okay. Now we're gonna go ahead and, let's see, that's 67,000 rubles on the conveyor belts. Let's get those conveyor engines and the mines going. And if you're the least bit familiar with this game, you'll know that conveyor engines in general can be a little bit janky, and you want to, before you commit to building them, you want to make sure that you can connect the conveyors you want as well as the road. And usually it's better to put in a road first, which I've done a road on all of those conveyor engines, and so they're nice and hooked up. Now, what I should have done also, and I didn't, is made sure that I can actually connect the roads to the quarries. Oh boy. Although those quarries would be much less expensive to replace than those conveyor engines. As long as there isn't a mechanism on them. Okay, come on. Alright. I need wireframe, please. Let's see, what's going on here? Okay. Let's level that out a bit. Come on. Not even sure where I'm actually going to be taking this road. I just want to throw a little bit of road on there. Enough to get that quarry connected. So we're going to draw it out further and level it out further than I'm actually going to be placing this road right now. Just to give myself plenty of room to work with once I do actually place the road. Come on. And we're green, so let's draw it back. And bam. Oh, that one works. Excellent. Okay. I still have time running. It's gone dark. Darkness is actually really handy for using the wireframe. It shows up much easier. And I can't do that. Can I do it down this way, perhaps? Because it was getting a little higher than I wanted it to be. I want it to be a little lower than that. Because this road here is already higher than that quarry by a fair bit. So, come on. Drop down. Keep dropping. Keep dropping. And yeah, terrain modification can take a lot of playing around in this game to get it just where you want it. And as you can see, all those points are green, but it's still yellow for whatever reason. Probably because it's a little too uneven on the sides. There's not enough berm for it to consider itself a safe road. Oh, there we go. Okay. You know what? Right there's good. Let's see if this will work. It's gonna look funny as hell, isn't it? Oh, that is a really strange road, but hey, it works. And we just have, what, one more up here? Yeah. This one shouldn't be too bad. Let's actually draw this back this way. Right about there seems good. I don't know what's going on with the terrain there, but we might need a bridge for this one. I don't think we can actually connect a bridge there, can we? Oh, we... Nah. It'd look kind of strange. Can we do any sort of averaging out of terrain? Let's see if that'll help some. I think we're gonna have to redo this road a bit. So let's do that. Let's just kind of level this out right in front of the quarry. Excellent. It's going crazy again. That's unfortunate. We're gonna have a bit of a strange road here, I think. Go ahead and drop it down over here. Why is that one not adjusting? Okay, it's adjusting now. Okay, excellent. Alright, let's try... Let's just get it to where it's green, huh? Or maybe what we should do is do this one differently. Is that gonna work? Please work. It'll work. Alright, so that's what we're gonna do. And these quarries are gonna look a little strange being buried and whatnot, but you know what? I think it'll work. I think I can fix that later. I think. Normally I wouldn't recommend doing that, but I think I can make that work. Alright, so there's yeah, we're gonna have stone being dropped or rolled down the mountain to the processor. I'm gonna be cranking out gravel. Now from the gravel processor, I think what would be appropriate to do here would be... Well, you know what? Let's actually do a storage off of this. And get the wireframe so we can line it up. And where do we want that? Right about there seems... Yeah, give it a little bit of space. Okay. Throw a conveyor on. It's not lined up all that well. Let's actually move it over some. Let's see. Is that it? That might be it there. Let's try that. That's better. Okay. And then off of that, we're gonna have What was I doing? Was I gonna do... I wasn't gonna do the modded one, was I? I think I changed my mind on that. I think I am just gonna go for... 210 tons of gravel. Yeah. Yeah, I think it would work out much better just to use the cement plant, the vanilla cement plant and prefab plant. Okay, I think I've got it. I'll be right back. Alright, and so I got that laid in. It's all being constructed now. We're going to have to cycle through the night again. Here we go. We got the cement plant. That's going to be... Alright, so we left off with the gravel, right? Gravel's going to be dumped here. It's going to feed into this conveyor. From this conveyor engine, it's going to feed into the prefab panels as well as off into the cement plant. And we should have just over enough production at maximum production from this to have a little bit of excess supplying both of these at maximum consumption. And in addition to gravel being needed for the prefab panels over here, it's going to need cement, which is why we've got it in such close proximity to the cement plant, which maximum production here is 81 tons. Maximum consumption over here is 9.8, which is why I don't feel bad about not having it factory connected. We can use, with this close a distance, maybe two cement trucks, all in cement from this silo over to this silo, which this is the modded silo. I believe it's by Off the Rails. Awesome YouTuber, by the way. He does awesome Transport Fever and Workers and Resources videos. But he has this multi-connection cement silo he's posted, as well as a bunch of others, and this is very handy. But yeah, the shorter distance between those two cement silos should allow us to just use maybe two trucks transporting cement right down the road to the prefab panels, and then the prefab panels we're gonna have to... We've got just over enough local storage for about 1 day's worth of production, just over about a day and a half worth. So we're probably going to want some sort of storage yard added onto that eventually. However, right now the way I've been setting up my industries, and I'm already I'm just under 1.8 million rubles in right now, and I don't have any people. I have no way of making these industries work right now, no way of making any money back. But I am I'm devoting a lot into the initial infrastructure of this republic, and in doing so, I'm gonna have my bases covered for basically all the essential materials. Now, this is gonna be providing us with prefab panels. We've got gravel covered. Let's take a look. What else do we have over here? Concrete and asphalt plants. Those can be set up wherever, and we can just haul gravel, cement, and bitumen to them. So the other one we're going to have to set up is a brick factory. And that only requires coal, and it doesn't require all that much coal. A fair number of trucks, or even a train, can easily supply a number of brick factories. So I don't think we're going to need to set up a brick factory over here, but we could, kind of like we did over there, on the other side of this coal mountain, set up like one mine, one or two processors, and then feed that into the brick factory, or factories, as, this is vanilla processor here. So maximum production is 120 tons. So that's like 4 brick factories one of those could supply at maximum production. Now, these are not always going to be at maximum production. In fact, they're very seldom ever going to be at maximum production, because it's very difficult to balance the supply and demand of resources for these production buildings, and that goes for almost every industry chain. None of them line up perfectly. Not only that, you have to manage the logistics of supplying those resources and storing those resources, and then possibly the hardest thing to maintain a maximum production value is supplying enough workers at a consistent rate. You can easily supply enough workers, but it's just maintaining that maximum value of workers. Anyway, that's going to be it for this episode. In the next episode, I think we'll set up those bricks. I don't think that'll take too long. So we may go a little further than that in the next one. And again, I'm sorry I had to do away with the whole Mod City thing. If that was something you were really interested in seeing, let me know. I've still got the save. I can always go back to that and show you just how screwed up things got. If that's something you want to see, let me know. The other thing I could do is, after I get things running in this republic, I can take another crack at it somewhere and see if I can do things better a second time. Again, that super apartment, very, very cool mod. Very, very difficult to balance, though. I would say so overpowered it will destroy your republic. Because I hadn't even filled it up halfway, and I was already having major issues. And then, not to mention, once that does reach 10,000 people, I'm going to have some huge population issues there in terms of trying to move people around constantly, because the extraordinary birth rate that was going on there was just ridiculous. And then if you don't stay on top of that, you're going to have a huge die-off, and whatever sectors of your industry or whatever parts of your society in general are depending on that population source, they're going to suffer too, and then it's going to take a while to recover from that. And it could really, if that super apartment mod city sort of thing like I had is a integral part of your society and economy and all of that, if you don't pay close attention to it, it could kill your republic. It definitely could. Maybe that was the intention of the mod, is just kind of a ticking time bomb waiting to destroy people's republics. I don't know. But I don't think that was the intention. I think it was for kind of trying to simplify a huge supply of workers, which does very well. A little too well, actually. So anyway, thank you for watching. As always, have a good one.